You're welcome, everybody. This is Mario from Barberview TV Podcast. Just a reminder to please follow us on all those social media platforms, including YouTube. Click on that subscribe button so you could be up to date on all things barber culture around the world. And once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of the support and the shouts out. Once again, to recap on the launch day, 10 more days. I could count them on my fingers now. 10 more days will launch on June 15th on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, with more streaming platforms on the way. We're going to be introducing that Apple app and then the Android app later on during the month, but I'll make sure to give you all those details when all that drops. So here we go. Joining us live and direct from Denver, Colorado, by way of LA, Mr. New Money Barber, Josh. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, Mario? I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Chilling, man. Thanks so much for taking time. See, my man is getting it in on the Sunday. Money never sleeps. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yeah, I know that's right,
Uh,
man. No, thanks for having me, Mario. Appreciate it, man.
yeah, brother. So one thing, we just want to, it's something that we're doing. I'm talking to people all over the world, and to me, you're a person that represents a lot of inspiration and a lot of grinding, and so I definitely think that the world needs to kind of hear kind of how things are with you. So so what got you into barbering? First, Josh, tell us where you're originally from, and tell us how you got into barbering.
Man, you know what? Shoot, I'm originally from Los Angeles, right? Grew up in the
Hmm.
military. My dad was a career sergeant in the Army for 20 years, man. So a lot of moving around, a lot of, him being deployed and just a lot of moving parts, right? So it was just me, my younger brother, mom, and dad, right? Growing up, he has 3 tours under his belt. And so every time he would deploy, we'd go back to LA. When he would come back, we'd move back to wherever we were originally stationed at, right? And so I went on like that, up until he retired, right, 2 years ago. We got here to Colorado in 2013. So almost 10 years. Um,
Yeah.
Originally, man, I wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps, right? I wanted to be a serviceman, right? I wanted to be a soldier. And so that was the career goal for me. Um, going back to high school and stuff, right? I was training, getting ready to join I wanted to go and do, I wanted to go to Buds, man. I wanted to be a SEAL. So,
Oh,
that's
that's
what I
what's
was.
up.
And so that was my focus. That's what was on my mind, and that's what I was working toward. Um, but there was other plans, right? And so life dealt me a different set of cards, man. And so I just I had my baby, my daughter, when I was a senior in high school. And when she was born, right after high school, I got married, and just everything started happening so fast. And I just needed to make money now, and so I was doing the whole construction thing and doing the labor thing. And I decided I didn't want to do that, right? So everybody has a past, right? Long story short, man, I wasn't allowed to go into the service, right? Army didn't want me,
Hmm.
Marine didn't want me, right? And so I was just like, well, damn, I was trying to just go active duty, and they didn't, they weren't having it. So, I had to think of something, man, and I tried going to school for a couple different things before I went to school for barbering. I went to school for automotive technology, and then I went to school for personal training. Started, didn't finish. It wasn't my passion, And then my mom, she's been in the beauty industry for over 20 years now, and she just told me, "Hey, man, why don't you get up off my couch and go do something with your life, right?" And so at this time, right, being a dad and being a husband and being all these like fresh out of school, right? I'm still really young and everything. And this is now 2015 when she made that, when she suggested that to me. And I went and checked it out, right? I went to Paul Mitchell's school, and they were talking to me about their cosmetology program and how I could cross over to be a barber. And I was just like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it, right? It appealed to me, so I got into cosmetology school, and I started that. I was still struggling a little bit, so I started, had to drop out, right? I tried to re-enroll at a later date, and they didn't take me, right? So I went to Tony and Guy, right? So I started at Tony and Guy, and they had a barber
Hmm.
program. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna pursue the Cosmo thing. I'm gonna just do the barber thing. And I started there, and guess what? I didn't finish, man. I had to drop out, right? And so it's been a real struggle, man. So then when I was ready again, I went to a international salon and spa academy. This was all in Colorado Springs. And I talked to the director of programs there, and I told her my story, right, where I was coming from, how it's been a struggle, and but that I'm focused and that I'm ready and stuff, right. And she was like, Mr. Soto, you're gonna graduate here. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went in now, like, 2017. So it's taken me 3 years to get through barber school, and I finally did it, man. I got my diploma in barbering, and then I went and took my state board exams, and I became a licensed barber, and at first it was rough, man, because I wasn't sure if that was my passion either. But I was doing it right, and it was a struggle at first, and as I started doing it and started meeting people, right, and started getting connected and started getting plugged into the right places with the right people, I saw what this industry could offer, right, what this career could offer, right, and I started showing it some respect, right, and it started respecting me in return. So originally, man, this wasn't the plan, but here I am today. I'm loving it, right. This ain't nothing but a good start. So yeah, I mean, I come from a family where my mom has been and is still in the industry. My younger brother, he's also in the industry. I got cousins and uncles who are in the industry, right? And all throughout my life, I've been surrounded by art and people who are doing something, in art in some way, one way or another.
That's dope, man. That's great. So now that you came from LA, now you're in Cali. I mean, you're in Colorado now. Tell us about how it is now, 2022. What how's things going for you right now as far as the barber industry is concerned?
Things look a lot different from when I started, right? Present day, I'm at Altitude Barbershop in or in Broomfield, Colorado, right? And I've been here for a little over a year now. And I just been grinding it out, like you said at the beginning, man. It's a Sunday, and I'm here, right? I'm getting done with my day right now, and the weekends are great, man. I'm just trying to be more involved, as far as relationships with like clients and relationships with the people that I work with and stuff. Definitely trying to grow, right? I'm surrounded by people that have goals, right, and they're taking actions toward those goals, and I'm in a place where I feel like it's right challenging me, right. So I'm looking at myself like, what am I doing, right, to reach my goals and stuff. So I'm surrounded by people, young barbers who are hungry, right, and who are getting after it, and that's what I needed, right, because I've been in other shops before where that wasn't happening. It was just like I was there, I was cutting hair, and I wasn't having fun, I wasn't enjoying it, I wasn't making the money that I felt like I could have been making, right. And I'm here now, man, and I'm making, I'm making pretty good money. I'm able to support myself and help out my family, which is something that I wasn't able to do before, right? And I'm doing that now, right? And I'm just thinking long term, bigger picture, and I'm seeing that, if I just keep grinding, right, and come up with a smart business model, man, and think bigger picture, and invest in myself rather than just living the moment per se, splurging on just instant gratification type things, rather than
Yeah.
be financially disciplined and think bigger picture. Maybe one day open up my own barbershop, maybe, start my own thing, but for now, man, I just feel like investing in myself is where I'm at. That's what I'm learning with the people that I'm around, right? Other young people who are supporting their families, right? Other young people who are, living the life that they want to live, right? As a result of their work and, what this industry is giving them, right? Because of what they put in. So, present day, man, I'm here, I'm grinding, I'm hungry, I'm putting in the work, and we're in here, man. So it's present day. I couldn't be in a better place.
That's some good stuff, bro. Yo, so tell us about like the LA. Do you have LA influence when you address a cut? Because I know you have a lot of people coming to you, a lot of new clients, and they really don't know what they want. And in your mind, you kind of know, oh, I think that'll look good on you. Kind of tell us about how you're able to. Is that an influence when? Well, hell, half of LA's moved to Colorado already, right? I mean, so so tell us about how you educate your customers on on like the style they should get? What does that consultation look like?
Most of the time, clients pretty much have an idea of what they want, and I just
Hmm.
gotta, I'm the professional. They're coming to see me, so I gotta be confident, right, in the way that I'm delivering my product, right, my service. And so, when they come in with an idea, right, and then I just run with it, man. So I'm just like, okay, well, if he's I just if a client comes in, he says, I just want to go real short on the sides and back, right? Like I'm like, skin or no skin, right? And at this point, right, they're like, okay, skin fade, cool. And then I just tell them, man, low, medium, or high fade, man. Either way we go, it's gonna look fresh. And so, um, right, and so they'll just be like, okay, let's just hit me with a medium fade, And so I'll hit them with a medium ball fade, right? And they're like, yo, what is that? Like they never seen the full shaver before, and then I hit them with the full shaver, right? And it's like, down to the white meat, and they're like, oh yeah, that looks fresh, I never had my hair cut like that before, So it's kind of like they know where they're coming, right, when they come to this barbershop, and they know that we're more of like a neo traditional barbershop and more of like a urban vibe, right? And so that's what they when people come here, that's what they're looking for, right? And so um pretty much you never know what's gonna walking through that door, so you better be ready to throw down, right? And if you can't throw down on any type of haircut that walks into that door, you're in the wrong barbershop, right? So
For
really, man,
sure.
whatever comes through that door. I get a lot of my influences, man, from the people actually here in Colorado, because this is where my journey began. So I started learning from barbers, the instructors that were in the barber schools, right? One cat was from the East Coast, and another dude was from LA, and in between, I meet people from all over that I pick up tips and tricks from, man. And honestly, until I came into this barbershop is when I became more diverse and started getting more comfortable with different types of tools and different types of techniques. And in the early days it was a lot of learning from YouTube, right? Because in barber school, they only teach you the basics, right? So it's up to the barber to get connected with seminars and other barbers and reach out, ask questions, and that's what I've done, right? I've been open to suggestion, open to construction, constructive criticism, right? And I just apply what I learn. And so I see something, I'm like, how'd you do it? I ask the questions, I learn it, and I apply it. And then, if I'm applying it and it don't come out, the way that it came out, when I saw it, I ask some questions. I'm like, okay, what'd you do right here? So I go back to the drawing board and I ask some more questions and I do it again. And then when that cut comes in again, then I apply that again, right? And I just perfect that technique. Is what it takes. Is just asking questions, being open minded, really, just applying, right, what we're learning. Because if we have the knowledge and we're not applying that knowledge, and what is knowledge worth, right? It ain't worth nothing if we don't
Yeah.
apply it, right? So my influences come from all over the place, man. And really, when it comes down to the cut, it just depends on the client, man, their lifestyle, how, what they do for a living, right? What they're looking for, things along that line, man.
That's dope, man. Tell us, what do you think about the current state of barbering as it is today? We've went through a lot of change. Styles are changing almost every minute. Tell me a little bit about what you're experiencing as far as or how you feel about the state of barbering to where it's at right now.
The state of barbering.
Like the vibe, the flows, things like that.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I feel like definitely looking at where barbering was at even just 50 years ago, right? Even just right from the 80s. I wasn't around in the 80s, but from what I hear, what barbering was to what it is now, and even just from, even the 2000s, right? Early 2000s and stuff. I see how far barbering has come as far as like you know, um how serious people take it, I guess, right? Before there was just a bunch of old school barbers, right, as they say, and nowadays you got a bunch of young people, a bunch of hungry people. Some do it as a, some see it as a trend, right? But those who will actually, right, are willing to put in the work and really have the passion will stay, right? And then we see that time and time again with the turnover rates and all these barbershops and in the industries and stuff, but I feel like the state of barbering right now, I haven't been around for a long time, but as for me, from my experience, I feel like if you respect the industry, it's gonna respect you, right? And if you you know, it's better to maybe, I don't know, get along with people, right? Because we need people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
if we try to do it by ourselves, we're gonna have a really hard time. It might take a little bit longer, right? But I feel like if you just build, right, some good relationships with people, right, either whether it be professionals that are also barbers or that aren't barbers, man, it's just you know, if you have a good network and a good support system, that this industry can treat you really well. You know, and you'll have a lot more opportunities, right? If you respect this industry and respect the people that are in it, right? And you know, stay humble, right? Stay hungry, keep putting in the work, and you know, you'll get those results, right? From the work that you put in. So. I mean, I can't really say too much about the state of barbering, right? Because I'm not like a master barber or anything, right? I would consider myself, you know, still new in the industry because, you know, I've been cutting hair for 6 years, but I've actually been taking, you know, I've just been taking this seriously for the past 2 years. So I am just now, you know, becoming interested in learning, you know, the business of barbering, right? The business side of things, and not just cutting hair. Before, for me, it was just cutting the hair. You know, just cut the hair, get the money, and we're good. But now it's like, okay, you know, I'm starting to see that it's not just about cutting the hair, right? And so it's about you know, it's about the people too, right? It's about the people. At the same time, it's about having a strong business, you know, because what does a business do at the end of the day? A business makes money, you know. So being able to come up with a smart, disciplined business plan, right? And that's what I see what most successful barbers are doing. They have a strong, disciplined business plan, right? And they're executing, right? And that's what I'm seeing more of and being taught more of to new barbers. I mean, the information is out there, the education is out there, you know, and that's what I like to see. Because before, right, it was more like, okay, the game is to be sold, not to be told. And now I see more and more barbers that are trying to help other barbers, right? Because you know, they're tired of seeing the state of barbering, right? People just you know, falling into this category where um, you know, they're not making, you know, what they should be making, or not respecting the industry as far as um, you know, the quality of service, right? Respecting tradition. You know, there's things people. I've seen it. You know, I've seen it. People take this industry for granted, right? They just do it as a job and not as a career, or not because they're passionate. You know, and so I feel like you know, there's barbers trying to make that difference, and you know, I don't know if I am or I'm not one of those barbers, but I know that I'm not where I was at before, you know,
Yeah,
and I kind of have an idea of where I'm headed, and I'm using these people along the way, you know, to learn, okay, what are they doing, and how can I apply that to my life and to what I'm doing, right? Like, how do I get there, you know, and with the suggestions and the advice and the help from other people, I can get there. And so, um, you know, I'm glad to see that there's other professionals out there too that have been around, that are sharing that knowledge, you know, and that's what's up, man. Because without that, you know, again, we'd be learning from trial and error by ourselves, and we'd be more separated than united, you know. And I feel like unity is very important, especially in this industry that we're in. So, you know, I think that's my kind of 2 cents on that. You know, I feel like there's still a lot of changes to be made, but you know, it's happening with people that are stepping up, and you know, I hope to be one of those people, man. And so I got to do that for me before I can do that for someone else. But you know, I'm putting in that work for myself, so that one day if somebody asks me, "Yo, how did you do that?" I'll be able to tell them how I did it. You know.
for sure. I appreciate that. Hey, you bring up a good point. There's so many people trying to be a barber now. Does that apply pressure on barbers to be better than ever, or do you think people are getting to for the new generation? Do you think they're getting into barbering just because it's the coolest thing to do? Should there be more love behind it? What do you have to say about just the influx of new barber that's coming in right now? Because that bottom tier is getting full, right? And then you have the middle, then you have the top. Tell us a little bit about how you feel about that, please.
You know, I mean, it's a dog eat dog world, man. I mean, if you know, if you're coming in here just to, you know, just to try it out, I mean, you're not gonna last long, right? And so I feel like those who really want to do it will stay, right? Um, but I mean, it's just like anything else, man. If I wanted to be like, an automotive technician, I can go to school for that. I can do that, But if really I don't really have a passion for it, I'm not gonna stick around. So they're gonna weed themselves out, right? The people who, they're gonna weed themselves out. I mean, it's tricky, man, because the standard I feel like for barbering is like very, it's become very corporate. It's become very
Hmm.
corporate, and people settle and they're complacent, man, and just it's up to people like us, man. People like you that are doing what you're doing. What we're doing, man. We're trying to do something a little different, break the norm, right? Create a new standard, for people to be like, oh yeah, okay, this ain't cutting it, right? This ain't cutting it. So we got to step it up a little bit, man. So I feel like the people who are coming in, it's great, man, because you don't have to unteach them anything. You're just teaching them this new knowledge,
Mm.
man, right? This new way of doing this thing, right? Because it's a barber culture, right? It's not just it's not a job, right? There's traditions to this thing. Things change a little bit, man, but deep down, the core of it, man, it's the same, right? And so I feel like it's up to us, right, to carry, right, to pass down these principles and these traditions of barbering and stuff like that. Of course, everything changes a little bit, man, but at the end of the day, at the core, it's all the same, and it's all about okay, the standard, the respect. I feel like respect is like the biggest thing anywhere, right? Universal, man. You show respect, you get respect. And so I feel like in this industry, man, when you respect the industry and you respect the people, then you will be treated well, and you will be compensated for your time and your efforts, right? And if you're just disrespecting the industry, you're coming in, right? You're just doing it for the money only, or you're just treating people like shit, or you're just in it for the wrong reasons, then you're not gonna, your fruit ain't gonna be plentiful. You know what I'm saying? So if you just you reap what you sow, man. You treat the people right, you show respect, you show love, right? Then you'll be treated, with that in return. And so I feel like if we teach that, then eventually the standard could be like, okay, yeah, there's a high standard for that industry, right? Because like for now, somebody can say, all right, yeah, I'm gonna just go to school, I'm gonna do this, and the people that are doing that, I mean, they end up in these places that are talked about, by people that come in like, oh yeah, that place was garbage, and these are mostly corporate industries, man. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's just in barbershops like this, right? Booth rent type barbershops is a little different, right, than a corporate barbershop. And I feel like, I think leadership is very important in the barbershop. And it's just like, okay, you're going to follow, right, the leadership that you have in that barbershop, you're going to follow that. So if you don't know any better, then you're not going to know any better and you're going to stay in the same spot, right? But if you're like, okay, well, this can't be just it. This can't be it. There's got to be more, right? And so you move around. If you're not getting that where you're at, then you move around, and then you surround yourself by people who are doing where what you would like to do and are at where you would like to be at, and eventually you might just surpass them, right? And so, I
For
welcome
sure.
all the new people. I welcome all this young generation of barbers, right? I welcome it, man, because that's what new money is about, right? That's what new money is about, man. It's about the new generation and it's about the new era, and it's about the little homies, right? It's about the little homies because as we know, barbering has saved a lot of people's lives, man, and it has for me, right? Barbering saved my life, man. It was definitely a factor in why I am where I am today, right? Um, and we hope to be able to provide that for the younger generation coming in, man, because these younger cats too, you know, um, they're coming from not so very pretty backgrounds and stuff, man. And so this is an outlet for them that they can use to get ahead, man, and become money savvy, right, or become business oriented and stuff like that, and have a skill for the rest of their lives, man. So yeah, man, I welcome the new generation, man, and I hope to be able to teach them something and to be of service, man. So definitely, man, I welcome it.
Good stuff. Hey, brother, if you could recall the first haircut you ever put down, how much was it? Was it on a family member or a homie? Go
Yeah,
into that
yeah,
mind and tell us what that first cut and what was the results of that cut too.
man. I think I was like maybe 14 or something, and
Wow.
I try to do a taper fade on my cousin in the restroom at my aunt's house, and man, that turned out so terrible, man. I remember we had this, we had the old wall clipper from Walmart or something, man, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just had the zero blade on his head, and I was just trying to just flick it out. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that turned out ugly, man. So, and I ended up having to buzz his head, man. And so you know, my first few haircuts before I even decided to attempt to cut hair, man, like to go for it, yeah, they were terrible. They were terrible. I remember in high school, man, I used to rock like a number 2 on the top, and then or actually even Steven, man, just a number 2, and I used to try to line myself up with that big razor, man, and my lineup was like back here, So I ended up sometimes I'd have to just shave it off, man, but man, it was terrible at the beginning for sure, man. Even with my little brother, man, I remember him, man, jacking this kid up one time, man, and it was in our apartment complex, and I guess he was trying to just make a few bucks, and so he tried to fade this kid up, and man, my brother came back. He was like, "Hey, man, this dude's about to beat me up. I messed his hair up and shit," and I was, man, let's go see what's up, right? And so we went and talked to the dude. He was pissed. I was like, hey, then why you gonna let this little dude cut your hair, man? Like, what are you thinking about, bro? What you thinking? What you drinking, right? But like, man, it was rough, man. It was rough at the beginning for sure, man. Had no idea, no sense. I grew up getting super cuts, haircuts from my mom, and yeah, man, they were. I look back on pictures, man. I remember it was terrible, man. I used to be, had that got to be glued, the spike gel with the color tips, and all that. Yeah, we didn't know what was going on back then, man.
I love it. That's awesome. But it also shows where you were from, where you came from to where you're at now, and just that whole progression is pretty
Yeah,
awesome. You always got to start from somewhere, but at least if you start, then there's a guarantee that you have the ability to have great successes that you're having right now. So that's awesome. Hey man, so before I let you go, thanks again so much for your time. It's been awesome just hearing all these stories. Tell people where they can reach you at and how they could book you if they're in Colorado.
all right, man. Yeah, if you're in Colorado, man, you could just book with me at altitudebarbershop.com. My Instagram is at New Money Barber, just as it's spelled. No, nothing fancy. But yeah, altitudebarbershop.com, or you can book straight through my Instagram page at New Money Barber.
That's what's up, man. Yo, New Money Barber, such a pleasure, brother. I really do appreciate your time. See, wasn't that hard? It was light work, you know what I'm saying?
To do this again in about a year, because you caught me off guard. I didn't know what was good, what kind of questions you were gonna be asking. Nothing. So I just winged it, man. I live my life on the edge. I wing it. So hey, a year from now, I hope to be able to do this again with you, man, and
Of course.
see how things are at that time. A lot of things could happen in a year, man. So, and once again, thank you for having me, Mario. For real, man, it's been a pleasure.
No problem. All right, brother. We'll talk to you later. We'll holler back at you, brother. Peace out.